Joe for Boxing UK in association with Supreme CBD, joined once again by the Romford Bull, Mr. Johnny Fisher, here today at the Jacobs Ryder press conference. How are you first of all, Johnny?
I'm good, thanks, Joe. How are you, mate? Good?
Yep, fantastic. And first of all, what's it like? An arguably great of the modern day, Danny Jacobs, sharing a bill with him on the Alexandra Palace on Saturday night.
Crazy to be on the table with him up there. Just a bit in awe of Jacobs, really. Obviously fought some of the best in the world, Canelo and Golovkin, and he's mixed it at the top table, and it's a privilege to be on the same bill as him and to watch him fight another great man in John Ryder.
100%. And obviously the talking point of this whole card, apart from the main event, is yourself once again selling over 2,000 tickets, 2,500 tickets. It's just blowing up. From probably the first time I spoke to you over a year ago, I think, before you made your pro debut, who would you have predicted it had got this crazy?
No, and I don't think about that too much because I'm here to do a job. It doesn't matter who's watching. If 2,500 people watching or 0 people watching, I've still got to do the job. I fought in front of no crowd, I fought in front of a crowd. It's just a job at the end of the day. Like anyone else has to go to work, but that doesn't mean I'm not grateful for the support I get, because it really, really does help my career.
Eddie said your legs looked a bit stiff in the first round against Torero. Was that down to nerves? But we spoke about it in the past. Second round, you come out, you listen to Mark, and you done the job.
Yeah. I didn't feel like I was stiff in there at all, really. Maybe it's just like an involuntary thing. Subconsciously, you get a bit stiff, even if you don't think you are. Maybe that's natural. If you've got all your supporters there watching, it's going to happen. But I've got that experience in the bank now, and I'll settle down into my work. I'm here to do a job, and as I said, I enjoy the crowd being there. It's amazing, it's unbelievable, and I'm just so grateful to be able to do it in front of them.
And Gabriel Nguema beat your last opponent. It's a step up, kind of gone under the radar, I think, how much of a step up this is because of the talking point of the Johnny Fisher Romford Bull Express. How have you prepared for this? And same as every other fight, or slightly different?
Same as every other fight in terms of putting 110% effort in, but the tactics change obviously to what opponent you've got. Gabriel Nguema is no slouch. Been the distance with Oscar Rivas, who's the #1 bridgerweight in the world. One of the best. He's fought at the top level in a heavyweight game against Dillian Whyte as well. So I've got to be on my toes, I've got to be ready. He's sharp, he's tall, he's big, he's rangy, and I've got to break his will, and I will do that over 6 rounds.
And last week we saw Kamil Sokolowski go up against Otto Wallin, a man your name was thrown up against to save the show. Luckily, the show went ahead with Cameron versus McGee on the 30th of October last year. Is Kamil Sokolowski a name that you would like to step in with the ring with? He's a great fighter. Yeah,
that's someone I've got to probably throw in the mix with down the line. But the way I see Sokolowski, I see him as a banana skin. If I'm just being honest with how I think, because you beat him, you're expected to win. If you don't beat him, everyone goes, oh, that prospect was no good anyway. So he's a banana skin in a way. So, but if you do beat him, and you beat him emphatically, that's how you get credit against him. If you beat him on points, you're probably not going to get the credit I deserve if I was to beat him on points. But saying that, Solomon Dakers really stood out against other people that have fought him, because he done a clinical, controlled performance against Sokolowski, and I think he really cemented his position there as one of the top prospects coming through. So shout out to Solomon Dakers.
Would you say that's the difference between a heavyweight like Sol Dakers and the likes of David Adelaide, who had a close fight against him, and George Fox, he comfortably got beaten by him?
So everyone who can have an off night, and David Adelaide may have had an off night on that night, but Solomon, you've got to look at how people performed, and Solomon, regards to everyone else, has put himself above everyone else in that perspective, and he's cemented himself as the real deal, as he's known.
And there's a whole new crop of British heavyweights, yourself being one of them. Who do you see as, apart from yourself, as the top of that next generation of heavyweights? In this of us guys coming through, who's at the top of them? Yeah, the Brits coming through.
Yeah, Fabio Waldy's obviously one who's kicking on to that world level now. Solomon's going to be a real force. You've got Fraser Clark coming through as well. So there's a good mix of people, and they've all got Fraser and Solomon have got great pedigree, being from the GB squad. And I'm excited to see how Fabio does. I spend a lot of time with Fabio training and sparring, and he's ready to kick on now as well. I'm looking forward to seeing him put on a good performance on the 27th of Feb.
All going well on Saturday night, Johnny. How many more times do you want to be out in 2022?
6 more times after this. I've got 7 fights on my contract for this year. I'd love to fight all 7 of them. I'll do 10 if they wanted me to, because that's how I'm going to learn. I'd love to fight every other week if I could, because that's how you get better. I think a lot of the old school fighters used to fight like that. I think of Mike Tyson. He used to fight every other week, and I think he just become desensitised to the big crowds. If you just keep coming in, and I keep just make that a normal thing that I'm fighting in front of thousands of people, and then that nerves will go away. Always going to get nerves, but not that they're going to go away. That's probably the wrong word, but you control them better. And I felt like I controlled them well last time because I got a round 2 stoppage. But every time I fight, I'll get a little bit better.
That's going to be a whole lot of booze-ups for the Essex boys across the year.
They're starting at the drill on Saturday. They're going to be raring to go, but hopefully we'll get a couple of cheeky away days, go to Vegas or a cheeky away day to Spain. I think they'd love that. And the Essex boys will be out in full force on Saturday night.
Definitely a little Costa Blanca blues up for the Essex boys. And obviously in the higher echelons of the heavyweight division, we see that ridiculous, amazing purse bid. What did you make of Dillian Whyte versus Tyson Fury? And a little prediction there, April 23rd?
So I'm a fan of both of them. I'm a boxing fan first and foremost, and I'm a big fan of both of them guys. If I'm being honest, I see Tyson Fury as a firm favourite for that fight because he's the king of the heavyweight division in my eyes. But I think it's going to be an entertaining fight. I think Dillian Whyte's got that never say die attitude that I love and I admire. He will never give up. So Tyson Fury's going to have his work cut out, but boxing ability wise, I think Tyson Fury's going to have his number.
And Anthony Joshua, as we know, is going to be training with someone else or added into the training team. We don't know who that is yet, but you've said you've learned, and we've seen so much with Mark Tibbs. Would Mark Tibbs be a good fit for Anthony Joshua in your opinion?
Oh yeah, I actually thought about that myself. You got Mark Tibbs, but I don't only get Mark Tibbs, you get Jimmy Tibbs. And Jimmy Tibbs, make no mistake about it, is a living legend. The man is a legend. He's been there, seen it, done it all. So anyone across the world, they came to Mark Tibbs and Jimmy Tibbs, they're going to be in a safe pair of hands. Whether that's Canelo, whether that's Anthony Joshua, or someone as low down as me, you're going to learn a lot from Mark and Jimmy Tibbs.
And finally, Johnny, what happens tomorrow or Saturday night?
Victory. Whether it comes in a knockout, whether it comes in 6 rounds, the only thing I'm certain of and that I will deliver is victory.
Coming out to country roads?
Country roads and a little bit of something different as well. Bit cheesy, but I think you'll like it.
Bit cheesy. Well, I'll just say, we've had 2 predictions out here, right? One of them, not mine, was the darts music before.
Yeah, that was an option.
But mine, I would personally like to see the Rise of the Foot Soldier, Let Me Love You for the Night, then go into it.
That was another option. I actually thought about doing that, but we can have that for the next one. But this one's even more cheesy than them 2, so you're going to be happy with this.
It's Ali Pally, you've got to do it.
Exactly. It's got to be something a bit out there. It's going to be entertaining.
Oh, 100%. And for anyone who hasn't seen, you've got to get hold of the Rise of the Bosch Soldier because it is grade A entertainment.
Great setting, great little series going ahead. Henry, my brother's going to be making a full-scale movie of it as well, and no doubt they'll be doing a Bosch Soldier episode of the Ali Pally antics as well.
100%. And if you ever need a journo in the Bosch Army, I'm definitely there, mate.
Thank you, leader of the Romford Ball Bosch Soldier Army.
Thank you very much, Johnny, and hopefully speak to you again soon. Best luck on Saturday night.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you.